We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
You have fun. Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you.
Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to the Christmas week edition of the morning show. Okay, the week before Christmas edition of the morning show. What is this? It is the week before Christmas.
It is because the week starts on Sunday, and Sunday's the 25th. But it feels like we're there, doesn't it?
It does.
It's Christmas week.
Well,
It is
welcome,
Christmas
everyone.
week.
It's Christmas week.
We declare it.
Yes, we do. And Pete Wilson is here, which means morning news update, of course, brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. And if you're looking to buy or sell, or have any real estate needs, give Nia a call and she'll help you out because she's always out working. And that's for sure. So, Pete, it's always after the weekend. You always have quite a bit of things to tell us about.
Okay. Well, yes, there are some things. And we're going to start off with a very sad story. I hate to be that way on Christmas week,
no.
but the news is the news. This was in neighboring Gallia County, but close enough for us to report on, and also some local relevance because it involved a fatality involving an Amish horse and buggy.
Oh, no.
Of course, you know, folks who live in Jackson County well know that there is a significant Amish population in Jackson County. When we travel our highways and roads out in the rural areas, even in town, you know, we see the Amish horse and buggies. And this particular incident occurred 4:52 p.m. on State Route 325 in Gallia County, and I think it was near Rio Grande. 325 is kind of a long state route that runs almost all the way through Gallia County, north and south. Rio Grande right there in the middle, but this was near Rio Grande, and it involved an Amish horse and buggy and an SUV. And an Amish horse and buggy was traveling southwest at this location on State Route 325 when the SUV struck up from behind. 4:52 p.m., still light, but you know, probably coming dusk and whatever, which I think is always certainly a contributing factor, you know, when we have crashes.
Sure.
James Brand of Waterloo, age 32, was driving the SUV, hit the Amish horse and buggy from behind. No names released on the two occupants of the Amish horse and buggy, but we know that they were under the age of 18. They did not give us an age. They said one was a male. They did not identify whether the other young occupant, the juvenile, was a male or female. But the male, they were both ejected from the vehicle. The male was flown to Cabell Huntington Hospital by the MedFlight helicopter, and that young man, child, youth died at the hospital.
Oh, no.
The other juvenile who was in the horse and buggy was taken by Gallia County EMS to Holzer Medical Center, Gallipolis, with obviously less serious injuries. At this point, there's been no charges filed. It is under investigation. The Highway Patrol brought in its crash reconstruction unit to try to figure out what happened, some of the particulars, and obviously this investigation and the fact-finding will probably contribute to whatever decision is made on the causative factors. Of course, the horse and buggies, of course, out on the highway, we know that. They're supposed to have slow-moving signs on their back. They're supposed to have some lights. And so those kind of circumstances and details I can't report on because
Sure.
it wasn't noted. But anyway, they do have a right to be on the highway, and you have to be very careful. And this was an incident that involved a striking horse and buggy from behind. And have you been on State Route 325? It's windy, hilly. It's the Gallia County hills there, so you can kind of see where there
It was a horrible accident.
right,
sounds
and
like.
it's a 2-lane road, probably not a lot of room on the berm. Sometimes the horse and buggies will try to get over far to the right, to allow vehicles to pass, when they come up behind.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean, at the end of the day, and this is just my commentary on it, I feel like we just reported on another incident of this not too long
not
ago.
long ago, about a month ago, I think it was.
And you are dealing with horses, so sometimes they have minds of their own, and we forget about that.
That's very true.
And I think that
very true.
case that we reported on a month or two ago, the horse might have been a bit, shall we say, hot, and you never know. You never know what's happening with that when you have that. That's an extra layer of who knows on top of it.
Right, you have another possible factor involved, the live animal there.
Yes.
Of course, the crash you refer to, I'm sure we're talking about the same one on State Route 32 and Five Points Road, out that
or
way
Glade
inside of
Road
the township, where there were Glade Road, where there were lots of Amish population, and in that case, the horse failed to yield, I guess you could say, attempted to cross the highway in front of a big box truck.
Yeah.
And in that case, a 15-year-old male who was driving the horse and buggy, was seriously injured. Understand that he has survived with complications. Never did get a name on that, but I have heard that more than once as follow-up there. But in that case, it was the horse and buggy that failed to yield because, for whatever reason, the horse
They have minds of their own,
cross the highway. Yeah, you wonder how they do, when they hear vehicles coming up behind them, and it's animals get spooked. We get spooked.
They do,
by
yeah.
noises.
You get surprised all the time, and it's just the same with them.
So anyway, that incident is under investigation. Always think that one of the best things that they can do on the safety, in addition to the Amish horse and buggies, being well lit and marked and so forth, is the signs that you see now in areas where there is a significant Amish population. You see the yellow and black signs where it says horse and buggies
reminds you to watch out for them.
Right, you know that they could be there. And in Jackson County, certainly Scioto Township, on the far end of that township, and also Franklin Township as you go down towards Oak Hill. Significant Amish populations there. People who drive those roads, live those roads, drive through those roads regularly know that.
Yes.
But you can see where, if you weren't used to that, it's just, you wonder about the potential for more things like this.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Another thing that we wanted to report on was a major arrest last week that involved the Jackson County Municipal Court and its probation officers. As we know, a lot of times the probation officers will make an arrest that obviously involves a probation violation. This gives them a lot of latitude to make an arrest, and this is that actual arrest taking place. Kind of a dramatic picture there.
Oh, wow.
You see one of the, I believe that's probably a probation officer having the suspect down there, and the suspect's name is Hunter S. Beckett, age 24, of Wellston. This arrest took place, I believe, last Wednesday, and the reason that this is, kind of like high atop of my news file here is that Hunter Beckett, he has not been charged, but he is considered to be a suspect in some recent vehicle thefts that have occurred in both Jackson and Vinton counties. Once again, I want to say not charged, but named as a suspect. The reason that he was taken into custody was that he failed to appear for another court hearing on a fleeing and eluding charge that actually occurred almost 4 years ago. He never came to court when he was supposed to, and so he was on a list to be arrested. This also, because of his record represented a probation violation. So, if you find that person, you can arrest them
Sure.
for just violating their probation and also not coming into court. And so my guess is how it normally works in the system. They felt that he was a suspect. They wanted to question him at the very least, on these vehicle thefts that I referenced. And we'll see where that goes. But in the meantime, he is in custody. A lot of times, this is done as a tool of law enforcement to bring somebody into custody when you have a major charge that's pending or whatever. It's a way to justifiably put somebody into custody or incarceration.
Keep an eye on them,
even for the
yes.
safety factor or whatever, or to do questioning or whatever. So anyway, we have this story online already on the telegramnews.com, and we will have coverage in our print edition. This came to our attention on Friday, a little bit too late for our print edition, but it is online now. But Hunter Beckett, age 24, they consider him possibly, according to the information that our associate editor Philip Buffington came up with, he's a suspect in several motor vehicle thefts in both Jackson and Benton counties. And vehicles were stolen in both counties. One that was stolen on Tuesday was recovered on the Centerville Road, which was where Beckett was apprehended. So that was maybe the most recent case where he is a suspect in a motor vehicle theft. All right. We talked about the Jackson County Land Bank and all the demolition projects that are taking place. We talked, I think, before here on television about the two structures at 271 Bridge Street, which, if you go over there now and pass by, it's all clear now.
Is it all gone?
All clear.
I haven't been over in that neck of the woods.
It is all clear now. Now there is another major demolition project, and there are many, but we're speaking about maybe some of the more known structures that were former commercial structures. Now there's one in Wellston that is coming down. It is the former Big J's Bar on South Pennsylvania Avenue. It is at 1208 South Pennsylvania Avenue, and there it is. The building, actually, when this picture was taken last Thursday, was still up, but you can see they're taking it down from behind. You can see the big apparatus there in the back where it's actually taking down the back wall. The front of it is still there as of yesterday, or on Saturday. It was still there. I'd say they'll be back to work today on that. But there are several buildings that they almost seem to have a common wall there. This is the one on the north end on the far left called, when it was open, most currently it was called Big J's Bar.
Okay.
And that is the only
That was
building.
Coops too, wasn't it?
Coops is, I think, right next to it maybe.
Oh, okay.
Unless it was Coops before it was Big J's.
I think it was.
It may have been. But anyway, people regularly call it Coops. I guess maybe it was longer, but the name on the front and what it was in most currently there when it was being used was Big J's Bar.
Okay.
All right. So these demolition projects are taking place all over the county. There's like 6 of them that can take place now because contracts were let on them. Most of the rest of the 40-some demolition projects, many of them involved residences, will take place sometime next year. Contracts will have to be awarded on those, but there were like 6 that were awarded early, including the ones there on Bridge Street and this one on South Pennsylvania Avenue. The Louis Theater will be one that will probably come down in the early part of next year, as well as the pool hall there on 2nd Street in Wellston, just about a block away from the Louis. Also, another building that is on that list is the former bail bond building across from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office.
Yes.
Right. So that is another one that will be coming down, once all these contracts are let out. In Benton County, there's also a long list of demolition projects that are in the works. No contracts have been awarded on those, but it's in the works, and a lot of that work will probably take place next year. Once again, this is all taking place because of grants coming through the Ohio Department of Development. In Jackson County, they're working through what is called the Jackson County Land Bank,
Mm-hmm.
where they're kind of like the middle person, the middle agency involved in this that works with the governmental agency and also with property owners.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ohio Department of Development has felt, and they're putting about $500,000 into both Jackson County and Benton County. And Jackson County has added to that figure with some money of their own, and it adds up to about $800,000. And as you know, from being a business owner and being a girl that's been here all your life, you know that one of the big issues throughout the local towns and even in the country are the dilapidated properties,
Yep.
what they do to property values, neighboring neighbors and
And
even
safety.
in the business districts, safety issues are certainly involved in there. The Ohio Department of Development is putting all this money in statewide. Forget how much money it is. Let me see if I have that. It looks like about $42 million statewide. Why is the Ohio Department of Development tearing down properties? It's because they want to see those properties developed, particularly the ones that are in commercial areas. Also,
Sure.
adjoining property owners, even in residential areas like this. The property owners themselves, they've had pressure maybe to tear it down. Well, here they can have their property torn down for them by the land bank.
Correct. It's kind of just a
Right, they have to-
everybody working together situation.
Right. In most cases, that property goes over to the land bank. And the land bank can then market it and sell it. In many fewer cases, the property owner retains the property, and then they can market it or use it for what they want. That is the exception to the rule. But I know that the properties on Bridge Street are in that category. All right. So we'll have all those things happening on the land bank and demolitions here in the near future, and some of it going on now. The Jackson County Health Department, Jennifer, has announced that it will have a new sexual health and wellness clinic that will start January the 1st. It will be open on Tuesdays, starting in the new year, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., and Thursday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. So what is a sexual health and wellness clinic?
I mean, that was going to be my question.
Yes, I know.
What was it you just said, Pete?
Sexual health and wellness clinic. Let me tell you what that is before your mind wanders anymore.
Okay.
The clinics will offer several services, including pap smears, breast examinations, birth control, that includes medications and condoms, sexually transmitted infectious diseases testing, treatment, including those for hepatitis C, HIV testing, and referral to treatment providers, pregnancy testing, tuberculosis testing, immunizations for adults and children, and that includes flu and COVID shots, primary care services such as work and school physicals, high blood pressure testing, high cholesterol and diabetes management, general wellness exams, and much more. So
Okay.
it goes beyond much more than the sexual health and wellness
Sure.
title that it has. But obviously, some of those things I mentioned that it will do just haven't been done before.
Right.
And you can probably guess that some of those folks that need those services didn't have a place to go before.
Correct.
And so, here is a chance to do it through the public health department.
Okay.
The clinic will be available for walk-ins and scheduled appointments. To schedule an appointment, you just call the health department. Most private insurances will be accepted, although the health department is not currently accepting Aetna, Humana, Marketplace, or TRICARE at this time. But here's the big but. If you do not have health insurance, there'll be a sliding scale based on your annual income. You will never be turned away for inability to pay.
Okay.
I know that is certainly an issue with some people.
Mhm.
Anecdotally, you hear about people saying, and these including working people, who are not fully insured or not insured at all. They don't go to the doctor because they can't afford
Because
it,
they can't afford it.
even if it's something that makes sense to do, that is diagnostic.
Correct. This is why women don't go get mammograms and, all of that stuff. And the list is colonoscopies and all of that, it's crazy.
Right, and one of the things that not covered by some insurances that just doesn't make any sense at all are your basic physicals.
Agreed.
It's like, well, you ought to be able to pay for that on your own. Well, talk about maybe saving everybody a lot of money.
Right.
If you find out, you need to do this or that, or you need to go on a certain medication and it can avoid maybe a more serious situation later on.
Like a blood workup once a year, things like that could prevent other things from happening. I don't understand why that's not covered under some things.
Hard to understand.
Healthcare, yeah, I mean, that's a whole, we could talk about that for weeks, so.
Right. Okay, we do want to tell you on Jackson City Council, they're going to have at least one more meeting this year. At their last meeting, they rescheduled their Monday evening, December 26th meeting, which would be a regular date, fourth Monday of the month, to Tuesday, December 27th, because you need to plan for this. Monday, December 26th is like a holiday because of Christmas falling on Sunday. A lot of places will be closed. The city will be closed that day. So therefore, and people will be doing their celebrating an extended weekend. So they moved the 26th meeting to the 27th. If they can't get all their end of year business done, because they always do some budgetary things to kind of like close the books at the end of the year. If they can't get enough votes to do these things, and they're fairly routine, they may have to meet on the 29th and the 30th as well. They went ahead and scheduled meetings as a contingency there.
Okay.
All right. So we want to get into some Christmas stuff now. And there are a couple things that I thought were really special that I want to talk about. One of them, Jeremiah Shaver did a story on. It was in our paper on Saturday. Across the bottom of the front page, It Takes a Village, Oak Hill did it. They do a thing, a bunch of volunteers in Oak Hill through the Growing Oaks program,
Okay.
where they do a bunch of things to support needy families at Christmas. This is something that they do throughout the year to provide kind of like food to some of the families through the school throughout the year. This is kind of like an offshoot of this, of something they do at Christmas. This is one of the big groups that posed for a picture after they finished this year's Christmas program. They helped 114 families in Oak Hill. And this is all volunteer stuff. They get donations. There isn't some big government grant to have them do this. But it is a nonprofit organization. And this was just after they packed boxes of food for children prior to the holiday giveaway. They did this on Wednesday, December the 7th. In total, 140 families who were involved in the Growing Oaks program. That is the food program that Growing Oaks does through the school to families, so that they have food other times than during the school day. The food giveaway, they handed out 13,010 individual food items, 17 plus food boxes of cereal donated from the Oak Hill community, 170 cases of frozen dinners. That was donated by Bellisio Foods. The Oak Hill basketball coach Heath McInnes, and his basketball team were involved in doing some of the labor to get these food boxes ready. At the food giveaway, each family was then given a ticket to go to the Portland Lodge building. That is a Masonic building, where a toy drive and clothing giveaway was taken. So not only did some of these same families who got food, they also got toys and clothing at a time of year when it's very badly needed. The toy giveaway was headed by teachers Lori Donnelly, Lindsay Lester, and Cheryl Lovett. The Oak Hill community, the Madison Jefferson Fire Department, and local churches donated, get this, 1,000 brand new toys.
Whoa,
So
that's a lot.
I mean, listen to these numbers, and this
Holy
is Oak Hill. This is Oak Hill, a village of about 1,500 people.
Yeah.
That's doing all this, and so they've been doing this for several years now, more than several years, but it just astounds me how they all come together to give, and then to work, and then to organize this.
That's so sweet.
This project. But we had a big story in our Saturday paper. We have it online as well. You can connect to it on Facebook. But that is really what Christmas is all about. If people want to donate to the Growing Oaks program, obviously they just don't do this in a week. They have to raise money and do work all year long. The address to mail a donation is Oaks United, at Post Office Box 152 in Oak Hill. Oaks United, which is the nonprofit corporation for Growing Oaks, was started in 2012. It has helped feed children in grades preschool through the 12th grade since that time. And in addition to the food program at Christmas, they also do, the toys and clothing as well. So that is really something.
That is amazing.
Another great project, we go to the north end of the county, occurred the last several days of last week in Wellston through the Wellston American Legion Post. A component of the Wellston American Legion Post is the 40 at 8 chapter.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to 1947, this Christmas food box project.
Yes.
But the 40 at 8, which is part of the Wellston American Legion, the Legion itself, the Sons of the American Legion Auxiliary, all do a Christmas food box program.
Yep.
It is something that takes place in well over a month, but it involves a fund drive, a fundraising drive for the money to buy the food. It involves a lot of organization to do that. It involves securing the food, packing the food in boxes, distributing the food.
Big deal.
Which took place on Saturday. They packed the food last Wednesday. They distributed the food last Saturday. And then they had a fundraising campaign that went over a month where, they had to do all the phone work where they took the names of recipients,
Yes.
potential recipients. There were 250 food boxes. They started taking names on November the 25th, and they were going to go through December the 9th. They had to stop well before December 9th because of the interest in getting these food boxes. But I think Dylan's got some photos for us there. But from that event on Wednesday, the Legion always has some students from Wellston High School come in and do some of the food
Help
packing.
out.
You're talking about the Wellston National Honor Society. You're talking about the Wellston boys basketball team. You're talking about the choir. You're talking about the Interact program, which is part of the Wellston Rotary Club. That is kind of the youth arm of the Wellston Rotary Club. But
Did you find the pictures, Dylan?
No, I haven't been able to.
okay, they should be at the very first of the first email, that helps.
Okay.
But anyway, 250 boxes. On Saturday, they distributed them to everybody over at the Legion. If you were
That is
if you were a
wild.
recipient,
Don't they deliver some of them too?
they may do that.
At one
in
point they
general,
were.
ask you to come and pick it up, and they have. Oh my gosh, I saw what was going in the boxes that night because I was there when they were packing them. They had.
It's a lot.
They had chicken, full chicken. They had milk. They had noodles. They had stuffing, a bag of potatoes, canned vegetables, some dessert type material. Thank you. There, Dylan's got it up. These kids right here represent those groups that I talked about. Some of the adults are in there too. Sarah Hammond is there on the left in the back. She is the Interact director and I think also National Honor Society advisor. Robert Foudy, who is the boys basketball coach, and James Wallace, who is an assistant there, standing there on the right in the back. The girls are in the front, the boys in the back, and I think this is most of them. But let me tell you, I was so impressed with those kids. I truly was. They had, full day of school. A lot of them, some of them had basketball practice, whatever. Because some of the girls who are in National Honor Society are also on the basketball team.
Sure.
And so, they have a day like that, and then they show up to do this service project. And let me tell you, they seemed like they were happy to be there and felt like they were doing something good.
Sure.
It did their hearts good to
Yeah.
do that. They were very happy, very energetic, and they were rewarded with the ultimate award for teenagers, pizza.
I was going to say, I see some pizza boxes there, so
Right, yeah.
good bribe.
Right, exactly. There is Allison Kilgore carrying in a big sack of potatoes.
Holy moly.
You can see how happy she is there. And so it was just a nice event all the way around. So congratulations to everybody involved in that. Congratulations to everybody in Oak Hill that was involved with the Oaks United thing. And then on top of that, if that wasn't enough Christmas cheer, OVB was spreading some holiday cheer as well. They have a program called Community First, where they try to have their employees and the corporate OVB interact with the community or contribute things to the community. On the Community First, I'll say a little bit about this before I do this holiday cheer thing. The Community First thing is a program. One of the things that OVB does is they will give their employees paid time off if at the time they're off, they volunteer in the community.
Okay.
So, I mean, they still lose the services of them at the bank, but,
but they're doing good.
it's a way to
Yeah.
do community service and
Sure.
to encourage community service in the employees. Well, they get contributions also from the employees all year round for this Christmas cheer program. And this year, they gave to several local organizations, thanks to the OVB employees who made contributions. And this year, the employees donated a total of $1,260. OVB, there is Joe Wyant standing there on the right, standing, the regional vice president, and also the manager of our Jackson OVB branch. They divided up $1,260 among 14 agencies. The agencies who were there representing to get money, or most of them were there, were the Jackson Food Program and Clothesline, Buckeye Community Services, Edgewood Manor, Four Winds Community, Buckeye Forest, Holzer Hospice, Jackson County Job and Family Services, Jenkins Care Community, the Geared Up for Christmas, Jackson County Heart Support Group, the United Fund of Jackson County, the Fraternal Order of Police's Shop with a Cop, Hope Haven, and the Jackson County Board of Aging. So they had a little bit of money for a lot of agencies there, something that OVB doesn't have to do, but it's something where they get their employees involved and then they help the community. And they made that presentation of those checks last Friday, and we were there to cover that. We will have that story coming up in our paper as well. Santa Claus has been busy on the Wellston Lions Club Santa Float. You're probably aware of that,
I
Jennifer.
saw a lot of pictures of Santa out and about recently on Facebook.
A lot of times last week on nights, he was in different places in Wellston along with the elves and everybody that's part of that float.
Yeah.
Yesterday, they were in Jackson. I heard about it, and I chased Santa down and found him on Oak Street.
Our sweet Amanda even posted a video.
I saw that. She was probably surprised there. But
I think she looked worried.
Oh, she did. Well, the float's moving.
Santa's
got to get that cell phone going quickly. But this is Santa with third grader Jansen Jones on Oak Street. You don't really know the route they're taking or when they're coming, but they've got a police cruiser out in front. They'll run their siren a little bit.
Sure.
And it was a nice day, cold but a nice day. And this is Santa. I mean, kind of like a larger view there. You can see the float with the reindeer and everything. There happened to be an elf with Santa who was off the float when I took that picture. But they were all over town yesterday between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. They're going to be back tonight, weather permitting. I believe the weather will permit it.
I think so.
4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Tomorrow, the Santa Float, the Lions Club Santa Float will be in Colton and Glenroy and also Fairview Terrace, which is in a big apartment complex on 13th Street in Wellston as you come into town on State Route 93. And I'm not sure if there's any other stops. Santa was in Hamden last Monday evening. I know that. But it is a wonderful thing that the Wellston Lions Club does to enable Santa to be able to visit all these kids because, everybody, that they see, it's moving. But if they see a kid, just one kid, they'll stop. And they can hop on the float, sit with Santa, put in that order, and then get a candy cane. And they even gave Pete Wilson a candy cane. How about that? A colorful Christmas candy cane.
When you just thought Pete Wilson couldn't get any sweeter.
Do you realize that it's been 54 years since I've gotten one of those from Santa? I was in line when I was 14 one time. So
nice.
Anyway, it was wonderful to see.
It was great to see all the pictures and the kids and everything.
And they went up and down.
Happy.
They went up and down a lot of the streets. I mean, they spent a lot of time here in Jackson last night, and they will be back tonight, probably in other areas of the town. Mainly, they were on the western side of town, the residential areas there, and through the middle of town as well. And they'll hit, I'll say, the other side of town tonight. All right. Santa Claus will make one last stop at the Santa House in Manpower Park.
Oh, okay.
This Friday evening from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
We have a chance.
We have one last chance. This is the last chance because, Saturday is Christmas Eve, too busy then. And of course, Christmas, no way. So, but one last chance, 5 to 7 p.m. at Santa's house in Manpower Park. You see all the trees in front. The Santa house is kind of in the back, just in back of the walk. The easiest way to get to it would be to park in that lot where Walgreens is on the side. Go over the little footbridge
Walk
there.
across the bridge.
And Santa's house is right there.
Yep.
And the Jackson Firefighters Association, Dave Channel, of course, at the forefront, they make this happen every year in Jackson. And that's a little bit of an obligation because, Santa's pretty busy in December. And to get him here for a special appearance takes a little bit of doing. So thank you to all those Santa enablers out there, the Wellston Lions Club in Wellston, and the Jackson Firefighters Association and Jackson, and Bobby Grimes with the Jackson Police Department. He donated his time to drive a cruiser through
That's
Jackson
awesome.
last night. I know he very much enjoys that.
Morning, John.
All right, another thing that you can do to give to others here. There's still time to do this. Operation Christmas Child. That's where you fill a shoebox full of items for a needy child. Not only here in America, but all around the world. They did collection drives in Jackson County that were already
did.
passed.
Hey, there's the box.
Oh yeah, here it is right here. Here's what the box looks like right here. There you see
Fill
it
up
with
the
that
box.
logo. The Samaritan's Purse, Operation Christmas Child.
Yep.
Samaritan's Purse is the international charitable organization that makes this happen.
Yes.
But it counts on people in all areas to be able to pull this off. But you fill this shoebox with a lot of nice items. There's some Christian messages in there as well. And it's not too late to do that. You can do it
okay.
online. So even though the collection drives are already passed,
You can build your own box online, right?
You can. For more information, how to participate, you can visit this website. It's SamaritansPurse.org. And the drop-off locations, as we said, are over with now. But once again, you can go online, do some shopping, and in your name have a shoebox sent to some needy child all around the world. Operation Christmas Child has delivered more than 198 million gift-filled shoeboxes to children in 170 countries and territories. This year, they will collect their 200th million shoebox.
That is insane.
That's how big of a deal that is. All right. Also, speaking of another Christmas-type sidebar story, the Jackson Vinton Farm Bureau and Kim Harless, I'm sure she's behind this, they're going to offer gift wrapping services tomorrow.
Hey, that's right up your alley, Pete.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's.
Oh, we didn't bring our gift wrap in today.
Thank you. The Jackson High School VOAG room, which is up at Jackson High School, of course. All members of all three FFA chapters in the county will be there to do gift wrapping services. Nominally, it's free, but yes, they will accept donations because it is a little bit of a fund drive. Whatever money they can bring in, it will go to support the FFA chapters at all three high schools. You can bring your own gift wrap material, or they will have stuff there for you.
Nice.
And that will be from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the VOAG room at Jackson High School.
And Pete Wilson will partake because
Okay.
Wasn't that you that admitted that you can't gift wrap for anything?
Oh no, not at all. I would be a mismatch between myself and a 4-year-old. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I will admit it out front.
Thank God for
I would
those
admit it up
gift
front.
bag
It might feel
things.
somebody else feel good about it. Okay. All right. I know that sometimes you guys talk trivia at other times.
Yes.
But there's one I want to throw out because, I see some things float in online or whatever that's interesting. What do you think of these three is the most popular Christmas movie in Ohio? And how they figure these things out, I can't say. I think they just make it up. But anyway, which is this? Which of these three is it? Falling for Christmas, Home Alone, or The Grinch?
Falling for Christmas? What the heck is that?
It is a Lindsay Lohan movie.
Oh,
I've never seen it.
yeah, me either. Home Alone.
Correct. Very good. I might have said The Grinch. Actually, I would have said something like an older Christmas movie, like A Christmas Carol, or
Yeah, I mean that's really hard if they gave you a multiple choice, so that
or
made
even
it
A
a little
Christmas
easier.
Story with Peter Billingsley.
Yeah, because it was like filmed in Cleveland, right? So
But Home Alone, it was the favorite in 18 states, and that includes Ohio. The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, that tends to be the favorite in the South. And Falling for Christmas, by far, is the favorite in the West. So
I've never even heard
why,
of that
why we have
movie.
those differences regionally, hard to say. All right. So another thing that's coming up, it goes on all year, but I mean, it also kind of falls in line with the Christmas spirit is the Hope United Methodist Church in Wellston has a free community meal on the first and third Wednesday of every month. This is the third Wednesday this week, and they are going to have a free community lunch. Sometimes it's a
Nice.
night, it's in the evening, it's a meal. And they call it a dinner, and sometimes it's at lunch. And
Falling for Christmas was a new film this year, Jeremiah says.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
it is. Well, that's why we hadn't heard of it.
I haven't seen ads for it. Now that Jeremiah.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Okay, the Hope United Methodist Church will have a free community lunch this Wednesday from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Soup, beans, cornbread, hot dogs, and a dessert. This event is open to the general public. They can't emphasize it enough. They want us to promote it. Anybody can come.
Come on in.
It's not because you need a meal. It's because you just want a little fellowship. Or soup beans sound good to you,
I mean,
or whatever.
how does it not?
But it's all homemade stuff. All homemade stuff. And the church is located at the corner of First Street and New York Avenue in Wellston. Hey, we also want to tell you on the sports side, a few things we want to tell you there. Our weekend basketball scores. Some of the highlights were on Saturday over at Chillicothe.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson was playing Chillicothe all day, boys and girls. It's something the Frontier Athletic Conference does. The rival schools at the end of the conference schedule, this is the first part of the double round robin schedule, if you believe it or not, halfway through the
Can you believe that?
Frontier Athletic Conference. They have it on Saturday instead of Friday, and they have the freshman, JV, and varsity boys, and the JV and varsity girls all play in succession starting at 1 o'clock. It's a big day of basketball. One ticket, you pay, buy one ticket, and you're in all
Okay.
day. Well, of course, the headline games are always the varsity girls and the varsity boys. The varsity girls from Jackson were undefeated heading into that game. Chillicothe had lost only one game. They were undefeated in the FAC.
Mm-hmm.
So they were head-to-head for first place.
Oh, man.
The Jackson girls came out the winner on the Chillicothe court, 54-51. So
Good
they
job,
are now
girls.
7-0 and alone in first place.
That's awesome.
The Jackson boys, we told you that Coach Max Morrow's got a lot of new kids rebuilding, plays several freshmen prominent roles. They were underdogs at Chillicothe. Chillicothe is not the favorite in the Frontier Athletic Conference, but they should be one of the stronger teams. Jackson went in and upset them, 49-42. So
Really?
a really nice win for
Wow.
Coach Max Morrow. A couple of other highlights from the weekend. The Vinton County boys remained in first place, or at least tied for first place in the TVC Ohio. They beat Nelsonville York 64-52. Remember, Jackson High School graduate NJ Kite
Yeah.
is the first-year coach of the Vikings. So that was the basketball this weekend. Speaking of basketball, the Jackson Area YMCA is promoting its first ever Holiday Classic basketball tournament on Saturday, December 24th. They're going to have a big tournament on Christmas Eve. How about that?
Nice.
They are looking for help in two ways. First of all, they want teams to sign up. It's a 3-on-3 type tournament, but you can have 6 players on your team, so you don't get tired.
Okay.
The cost is $100 per team, but they're also looking for local businesses and individuals to donate to support the tournament. The donations will help cover expenses such as referees, scorekeepers, and prize money. Now, the winning team, did you play basketball in school?
No.
No. Well, guess what? The winning team gets $1,000.
Sweet.
Talk about some stocking stuffer money, huh? But the team representatives should report at 8 a.m. Seating for the tournament will start at 9, and then they'll start single elimination play soon after.
Nice.
If you want to get involved, either as a sponsor, a donor, or as get your team involved, just call the Jackson Area YMCA. That number is 286-7008. Once again, 286-7008. All right, another big thing to talk about. I know we're going to have Jeremiah in here to talk about a couple of things he covered over the weekend, but this is big, and we hope to have a more detailed story out in the paper this week. But the Southern Ohio Conference, I mean, it goes back a long time, locally relevant to us because the Oak Hill Oaks are a member of, the Southern Ohio Conference. A lot of schools in the Southern Ohio Conference, mainly from Scioto County, but also from Lawrence, Gallia, and Jackson counties. They have two divisions, and it's based on size, Division I and Division II. All right. They are taking in a new school, South Gallia, starting next year. And because of the number of schools, they have finally reached agreement. It wasn't easy. They had to have several votes to get here. Starting next year in the basketball season, this is the 2023-24 school year, there will be 3 divisions. Based on size.
Okay.
Not sure whether they're going to call them 1, 2, and 3 or whatever, but basically it's based on size. Oak Hill, which had been in the small school division until a couple years ago, now in the large school division, they're going to be in the middle school division, which will be, I think, a better fit for them.
Okay.
Because they were one of the smaller schools in the SOC2. But the 3 schools that are going to be in the so-called middle division are Oak Hill, Scioto Northwest, Sims Valley, a new member of the SOC, South Gallia, and then Pike Eastern and Pike Western. So all those games that they had been playing against the likes of Wheelersburg, Waverly, Portsmouth West, they still may play those teams, but they will not be in their division where they're competing for a championship.
Yep.
So we'll have more details on that, but that is a big news. That will not take effect until the basketball season next year. It's too soon for the fall sports because some of those schedules were already done. And this is very important. It will not right now involve football. So Oak Hill will be playing different schools in about every sport except football. Football will remain the same for now. That could change, but that's just the way things stand now. All right, our man Jeremiah Shaver is here, and he's kind of like Porterhouse. He's got a Santa cap as well. He's always out there covering all these nice events. Last weekend, he was covering the Shop with a Cop event that was on Saturday, and then later the live nativity scene at the Trinity Wesleyan Church. And one thing that I didn't mention that happened over the weekend, he snapped a picture of this, but I said that I would mention it, so I'll mention it now before he comes on. They had that fund drive for the family of Ryan Foster, the late Ryan Foster. We had mentioned that they were going to do it, but there was firefighters and EMS folks set up in Jackson, Wellston, and Oak Hill when Jeremiah was out and about.
I found them at Kroger.
Right.
To give some
That's
money.
exactly where Jeremiah found them as well. It was the Liberty Township Fire Department that was out there, but basically all the fire departments, all the EMS were involved.
That was very nice.
There they are right there. Thank you, Dylan. That is the Liberty Township, wasn't it, Jeremiah? The Liberty Township people that were involved in there. And you know that they were going to be involved because that was the home stomping territory of Ryan Foster when he was growing up as a firefighter. That was his first public safety job. He was a firefighter almost as soon as you were eligible to be one. Later on, of course, full-time employment with Jackson County EMS. He was the EMS supervisor at the time of his untimely death and also a member of the Madison Jefferson Fire Department. Of course, the backstory, Ryan Foster died at the age of 35 after a medical emergency, left a family, a young wife, and 2 young children behind, and his colleagues in the emergency services realm all came together to do this fund drive for him on Saturday. They collected donations. I know that on behalf of his family, they thank everybody who stopped by and gave a donation.
Yep.
All right, I will cede my seat to Mr. Jeremiah.
All right. Did everybody watch the World Cup yesterday game? It was like the best game in the history of games.
Good.
Jeremiah, what are you doing?
I had to tell Pete something. There's a fire truck over at Burger King.
So go find out why.
Well, when they say flame broiled,
Stop it.
I know. Well, JJ pointed it out to me
You
as I
guys
was
both said that at the same
walking in.
time.
Well, JJ said it too.
Anyway,
so.
okay.
We have an equally bad sense of humor.
I'm
Oh,
sure.
God,
I'm sure
okay.
it's. I'm sure it's nothing. I didn't see any flames from where I was
Oh,
standing,
okay.
but I did see. It looked like maybe Jackson, like the electric department, was maybe over there. So I don't know if it's
Oh.
electrical or
Yeah.
a grease fire or what. But I wanted to tell Pete just so he could take a look
Okay. Very
before.
good.
Okay.
No, the World Cup. It was the
No, I
best
did not.
game
I did not watch.
ever.
When was it? I didn't
Yesterday
even,
morning.
Yeah, so I missed
Argentina
it.
versus France.
Okay, that's soccer, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Happens every 4 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're watching it. Argentina comes out, scores is 2-0. So we had to run into town for some stuff. Came back, and then France immediately, in a matter of 90 seconds, scored 2,
Wow.
tied up, and then it remained tied. So they went into overtimes, and then they go into these penalty kicks.
Okay.
So you get each team gets so many penalty kicks where you just kick the ball at the
Try to
goalie,
get- yeah, try to get it
basically. And Argentina ended up coming out on top. So it
Wow.
was the craziest game, though. It was just insane.
Okay.
People are still going through the drive-through at Burger King, so it should be okay.
We're
Oh,
okay.
very
All
good.
right.
Seems
Burger
okay.
King's all good.
Yeah, JJ
Don't worry.
just stopped me as I was coming down the hall and was like, "There's a fire truck at Burger King."
You
so-
can get your Impossible Whopper still. You're fine.
Yeah. Is it? It's probably you probably still get breakfast right now.
I have a bone to pick with Burger King. They got rid of my Cine Minis. Those were my
no.
favorite. Those were awesome.
Yeah. I don't know.
They
If
don't
I
have them anymore, do they?
I don't think so.
I used to get those all the
I
time.
just came through there this morning.
Little mini cinnamon rolls.
I got the little hash browns,
Oh,
the circle hash browns, and a sandwich.
not the same as Cine Minis.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Side on that one, Jen.
can we write a strongly worded letter, James?
I've been complaining about it for like 10 years.
I know. It's been a long time since I've had them. They were delicious.
Well, Pete lined me up here. I didn't know if he was going to mention the Ryan Foster collection drive or not, so I printed off some notes for that. But he remembered as he was telling
He
me.
did. It was
So
nice.
he went through a lot of coverage there.
Yes.
Pete did.
We
But-
went, we were, of course, in town. Like I said, we came
They
into
were out-
town.
they were out in
and
force.
there were
They were everywhere.
like any place that people go, there was a fire truck or
truck.
something sitting
Yes,
there. And
there was.
and if you didn't know what was going on, you'd have kind of probably thought,
Well, they had those
Uh,
big green signs taped to the fire engines because I saw them at the Dollar General on Bridge Street,
Mhm.
saw them at Kroger, saw them up at the parking lot there between Bob Evans and Pizza Hut.
Yep.
And then they were at the top of the parking lot at Walmart.
Yep.
Because I had to go to Walmart Saturday afternoon for the Fraternal Order of Police, the FOP
Mhm.
Lodge, held their Shop with a Cop.
yes. that's
So this was
such a good deal.
I've never been to this before, and I don't think they're usually not looking for a whole lot of coverage on this on the
Mhm.
event side of it. They just do this for the good of the community and
Yep.
the kids and everything. But they invited the media out this year. It was held on Saturday, December 17th, and you had members of the FOP along with local law enforcement gathered there at Jackson Walmart for this Shop with a Cop program. This was the
How fun.
we have some pictures here that I snapped. The moms of these children okayed me taking some photos. In this photo, you have there's Scott Conley there with he's chief deputy with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. There was an officer back there from the sheriff's office and a deputy for the
Patrol.
sheriff's office. Yeah. I wish I didn't bring my notes on who was back there. I had them write their names down for me. The other one was from the Wilson Police Department. The tall drink of water back there, like Alex, was from the Wilson.
Like Alex.
I
does.
know it does. And we had another photo there you can go to. And there was just some photo of you see the Ohio State Highway Patrol
Mhm.
was there as well. And then I think there was a group photo as well. So
Very
you have
cool.
here, this was the law enforcement members of FOP that was
Not
there.
a good time to rob the Walmart store, would it be?
No, it would not. It would not be a good time to shoplift with law
Don't
enforcement in the
shoplift at the
store.
Walmart.
But you had the manager there, Stephanie. She's been manager there at Walmart, I think, for 2 years now, and some of the associates there to help. They set up the lawn and garden section back there
Nice.
for the parents and children to check out. But a little bit more on that program. I talked to FOP president Aaron Irvin.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't able to be there Saturday. He had other obligations in Benton County because he's the deputy with the Benton County
Yeah.
Sheriff's Office, and he's the president of the FOP here. But he said that the program was a success, and he was telling me that in years past, the program was always held in the fall prior to the start of school to help with back to school shopping.
Okay, yep.
So this was the first year that he can remember that it was ever held at Christmas time.
Okay.
So they helped, according to members of the FOP that were there Saturday, they were able to help 30 children, and it was 10 from each school district. So 10 from Jackson, 10 from Oak Hill, 10 from Wellston. And each child received $200, Jen,
Whoa.
to shop for Christmas gifts for themselves.
That's awesome.
They could purchase whatever they wanted. It didn't matter. As long as it, totaled up $200, they would.
Nice.
FOP wrote a check and paid for it. And
That's so good.
so these 30 children are going to have a nice Christmas. But the names for this was, the FOP reached out to each school district, and they would provide them with names of people that may need a little extra help this holiday season.
I feel like our good friend, the late Butch Aldrich, used to have
Yes,
a lot to
he
do with the
did.
shop with a cop.
Yes,
And when I think of that, I think of him.
Yes, Butch.
He was very
he was
integral
with
in
with the FOP. I had notes in here on that. He was credited with running that program for several years.
He
I remember that many of the members in law enforcement that I spoke with during the event on Saturday credited a lot of that program continuing to Butch.
Yeah.
He passed away back in May this year, and I was thinking it was last year, but it's just been a long year apparently.
Yeah.
But we had representation from all law enforcement agencies except for Oak Hill
Okay.
there Saturday. So the Jackson Police Department was there, Wellston Police Department, the Ohio State Highway Patrol, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. And the only, like I said, Oak Hill was not able to be there. They had a conflict that they weren't able to send representation. But it's a nice program. I'm going to have a nice little article about it, and we will have in there. If you're interested in donating to that program,
Yeah.
I have the P.O. Box here, P.O. Box 574, and that's Jackson, Ohio 45640, and you can make monetary donations to that program if you like.
Cool.
But I think I covered everything on here. But Irvin was just very thankful for all the members of the community that helped support this program. And none of them could really tell me how long the program had been going on for. They said at least over 20 years. But he was
could see
thinking maybe
that.
starting in the early 80s, roughly.
That would be
it'd been
a long
so
time.
20 or 30 years. It's a long time. But
Yeah. 30 years would be the 80s.
30, 20 or 30 years.
Or something.
None of them
40.
were sure. Some of the older ones there, like that were there, like Scott Conley and Ted Frazier was there. They said they know at least over 20 years.
It's kind of funny. I mean, 20 years you think is so long, and it's really not at all.
Right.
So.
All right. And then Saturday evening, venture down to the village of Oak Hill to the Trinity Wesleyan Church for their 8th annual live nativity scene. That was held Saturday evening. They had the live nativity. Here you have 3 wise men with some camels there in the background. They're not live camels, though.
Oh, I was wondering how they got it to lay down.
Yeah, they look pretty live, though, don't they? There was also, here you have some
A
shepherds with some
goat.
With a goat there. Outside, this was all set up outside the church there,
Aw,
and
how
people could
cute.
walk through. They also had these children's buggy rides, and so they had the little wagon, and children can get in the back, and that little miniature pony. I'm telling you what, it would go, Jen. Like he would go, yeah, and that they would be around the block in no time. So
Feisty little bugger.
It
huh?
was, and I can't remember the name of the little miniature pony there. I have it all written down. And then here was your nativity scene. You have Joseph and Mary and the baby Jesus, and you have the angel there. Not sure where the angel's looking, but I was snapping. She's looking up. I was snapping these photos when they weren't paying attention. I was just trying to get a good shot. So the pastor down there, Kevin Terry, thanked me for coming and really appreciated us showing up to do some coverage. In addition to the live nativity and the children's buggy rides, they also had live music in the sanctuary, and they had a nativity escape room for children ages 5 through 18.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I didn't stay there for that part. I was there for the live nativity and the buggy rides.
Mm-hmm.
But they also had free hot cocoa and cookies that were served inside.
Cool.
So we'll have some pictures in a future edition of the Telegram on that. And I think that wraps up my coverage from Saturday.
Well, very
Pete already
good.
talked about Ryan Foster.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll have a lot of let's see. I think our Saturday edition comes out on Friday this week because of the holiday. So I'm sure in the next Wednesday and Friday editions, we'll have a lot of Christmas coverage in there, and we got Christmas coming up on Sunday. And are you done shopping?
Yeah, because I never start.
Never start. Gotcha. I'm not finished.
I don't.
I'm not finished. I have a Secret Santa item I still got to buy for one of my family members, and I haven't done it yet.
Is it one of those hard family members?
I mean, not really, but I just haven't managed to get to the store to buy anything yet.
Gotcha.
So anyhow, I see we're at time, so I'll let you.
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
No,
so I can
that's totally fine.
go get back to it here.
What are we getting into this week, James? Trouble. I know Wednesday we're getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing tomorrow? Do we know yet? Something fun. He scares me when he says things like that and doesn't give me a definitive answer.
You'll get Pete Wilson on here and have a gift wrapping contest.
Dude,
you can wrap
if we
the
don't
gift
get
the
Pete
fastest.
in here to show his gift wrap prowess, we're
I
not doing
I will
the
bring
duty.
back a box and some wrapping paper and tape and stuff so I can see this come to fruition.
I mean, Pete just basically just throws himself on the sword on that one.
He
So
did, yeah.
I can't do it.
He gets.
All right. Well, thank you all, everyone, for watching. We hope that you have a very, very wonderful Monday. Don't forget, Christmas coming up this weekend. Don't panic. Just chill out, drink some eggnog, and have a good week.
I did buy some eggnog over the weekend. I always like to have
With
a
or
glass.
without Jack Daniels in it?
No, it's non-alcoholic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeremiah.
Well, they had Kroger, so I went to Kroger because I always like to have at least a glass, and usually I won't drink like a whole gallon or anything.
Mhm.
But they had half gallons, so
Uh-huh.
I ended up getting a half gallon. But they had like a pint of Southern Comfort eggnog where you can mix in the Southern Comfort. It's non-alcoholic. But I didn't buy
Jack
that
Daniels
because I
in
didn't
your
know
eggnog.
I didn't know if the mixture, because of where you're adding in the alcohol, if it would without alcohol, if it would taste funny or not. So I just bought plain old eggnog, Kroger brand, and had me a glass over the
I
weekend.
like eggnog. Do you like eggnog? No? Dylan? He's saying, what's eggnog?
It's good.
Oh, you do like it? Okay. Doesn't seem like something Dylan would be into.
Anyhow.
Or Minecraft. But we're not going to discuss that. All right. We got to get out of here. Have a wonderful weekend. Well, we'll be here, but have a wonderful day.
Have a Merry Christmas, because
Yep.
I don't know if I'll be back on or not. but-
We'll see you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
thetelegramnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, thetelegramnews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
thetelegramnews.com.
Subscribe today at thetelegramnews.com.
Check it out.